It's Thursday night. I'm here. You're beautiful. That must mean it's time for GotBot Goes live. Yes, we're not on a Wednesday night tonight. We're not coming on later because I didn't get delayed. I am here. It is now. I am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment. Hold on. Like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit the notification bell, please. Helps me out a ton. Let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Obviously, tonight we're going to talk about things coming from Dr. Wu. We will give a Hasbro note that I think is interesting as the week has passed. We're going to talk about Wild King. We're going to talk about Hot Wheels. We're gonna have a good old time, and then we will do an unboxing and get out of here, of course, and trivia. So just give me a couple of moments here to sort of get myself situated, as the old saying goes. I'm going to do that, and I need to do this. Hope you guys are having a bang-up kind of Thursday. I know that last weekend was, if I'm not mistaken, was Memorial Day in the U.S. I didn't get a chance to wish my friends there a happy Memorial Day weekend. Even though I know it's a somber. I know the reasoning for it is somber, but I also know that much like our Victoria Day holiday, it's like your summer kickoff. So I hope it was good for you guys. I do. Hey, Master Fire Marcus. Hey, Blue Star. Hey, Common Rider. Oh, cool.
Quesadilla.
Nice. Is that our supper?
Yeah.
Is that his supper, or does he have something else?
No, there's one there there'll be one there for him too.
Okay. All right. You know, there's also some of those like mini tacos still out there too that you could have thrown on with it. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Anyway, what did you say? Later. That's because I haven't eaten yet. I'm here with you guys. I'm going to eat my supper after. Nice to know what we're having. I love Mexican food. But yeah, I hope it was a great weekend for all of you guys. Just got Cyber World Grimlock. He's really fun. Didn't even know any of the Cyber World stuff was out yet. I mean, is he Master Fire now? Are you going? Is he actually, or are you just saying because you spent the money on it? Because I don't know, man. That said, I also realize I'm biased because I'm out on that line. There's no elbows. I'm out. No elbows. That's a killer for me. The rest of it I could look past, but I think you need to have the ability to T-pose and shoulders go all around. I think you need an elbow. If you're not going to have a bicep swivel, it needs to be on a ball peg so it can swivel. I think you need hips that can do splits forward and back and to the side. I think you need knees and either a thigh swivel, or it has to be able to swivel at a ball joint at the knee. The rest of it I can live without. Not that I want to, but I can live without it. But I think what I just and a waist. No, I can live without a waist. I can even live. I'd like a head on a ball joint. So I can live if the head's not articulated or there's no waist, but it's a lot harder. But those things that I said, they're like, for me, like what I see is like cardinal points of articulation. And I feel like if something doesn't have at least that, it really hurts. But that's just me. So I know I'm biased about it. Hey, Big M. Hey, Blue Raccoon. Hey, Matthew. Desert exists? Oh, supper is a word you don't have here in Australia. Dessert. Yeah, we have dessert. But that's what we eat after our meal. And funny enough, a lot of places have like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Here we tend to have breakfast, dinner, and supper, or breakfast, lunch, and supper. My understanding is that in a lot of places, dinner time is like 5 o'clock, and if they're going to have supper, they'll have it later at 7 or 8, something like that. Dinner never really caught on here as like that meal at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. Supper cut on here for that. So it's whatever you call that thing. Do you guys call a meal dessert, or is dessert actually like dessert? I'm just curious, Matthew. Hey, Lance. Breakfast, lunch, and tea here. Interesting. Just ordered Megatronus and a Diaclone figure. Cool. Enjoy. Diaclone's not my thing. It's not my jam, but I like some of the designs. I think they look pretty cool. We only have trees, and more trees. Hey, Ken. Yeah, I'm doing all right, I guess, man. For me, it's breakfast, snack, dinner, snack, and even more snack in bed. That's fair. That is fair. Yeah, dessert is usually sweet. Same here. Same. Actually, there's some birthday cake left in the fridge. That might have dessert written all over it later. Is Canadian bacon just regular bacon to you up there? Or no, actually, regular bacon is regular bacon. Canadian bacon is a thicker slice. A lot of times we just call pea meal bacon rather than Canadian bacon. But it's the same thing. I prefer regular bacon. I find the thickness of Canadian bacon a little too much for me. But interesting. Good question. Yeah, dessert is usually sweet. That's a good question. For me, it's breakfast, snacks, lunch, more snacks, and dinner. That's fair too. I think most places, Master Fire, probably like you. Tell me your wizardry on how you create Canadian bacon. Oh, I have no idea how it's done. Ask a butcher. It's not my job. Breakfast, lunch, and supper, dessert. It's sweet after lunch. I'm with Albert. Breakfast, lunch, and supper. Yeah. Canadian bacon is ham. You know what? Canadian bacon is basically ham. Kind of, sorta. You're not really wrong. It's basic. Yeah, it's kind of, sorta. Okay. How about we do this? How about we get into the news? Hey, because we're here now, just sort of babbling. We both know I haven't eaten. So how about we jump right into the news? And we're going to kind of pick up where we left off last week with this company. This company here, of course, this is Infantry. This is more of the Transformers watches. We talked about them last week. There is a Transformers exclusive chromograph wristwatch, either Autobot or Decepticon. The Autobot one is $260, I believe. The Decepticon one is $290. I'm not really sure why. It functions like 100 meters underwater. It has a modular design. So it's a high-end watch, no doubt about it. Again, you can sort of see the image there. I don't think I need to really go in for us to have a look. Where's my cursor? There we go. I don't really think I need to go in for us to have a look at watches. It's watches. One is, got a blue strap and kind of a blue face. And that's the Autobot one. The Decepticon one has a black strap and purple around the face. That's what I would go for, even though I'm a good guy. Hasbro talked a little bit about their gaming. Again, I'm not the new Wizards of the Coast dude who apparently is a magician and knows all the things and is really going to turn Wizards around. Can you tell how skeptical I kind of don't believe that? I don't know why my phone is ringing. You know what I do like, though? I like that it tells me suspected spam. So that I'm going to assume that was spam. Whoever it is, it ain't important enough because it's showtime, and you should know it's showtime. As I was saying, can you tell how excited I am about the game? I don't think this is going to be the thing that's going to turn Hasbro around. I think this is their Hail Mary. I think they're a dying company, and this is their Hail Mary attempt at let's do something. Until you get rid of Chris Cox and replace him with someone competent, I don't think you're going to see what you're hoping to see. But that's just me. They did say that they have high hopes for their gaming, and some is in a house and some is not, and blah, 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 and they're going to focus on gaming. But here's what's interesting, and this is a good place to bring it up. I'm not going to go through this. Yeah, okay, you got a thing with Saber Interactive. One of your IPs is being done. We don't know which IP is being done, but listen to this. I'm actually going to read both of these excerpts, which, by the way, there's another one there. And then we have the complete opposite end of the spectrum where we are 100% building, supporting, publishing, investing in our own video games. It's a different investment and it's a different return profile. And so we believe that the diversity of how we're approaching gaming is a smart way to lean into some of the opportunities without putting too much risk on the table. Again, anchoring back to playing to win. That whole quote says literally nothing other than, yeah, we are hoping for some opportunities and little risk. That's all that says. There's nothing said there. That's a bunch of fancy words that says nothing. And the one below it is just some praise for this John Haidt guy. John Haidt has come to the organization and has really taken a very thoughtful view of not only the current pipeline within all of the gaming, but with all the opportunities that he sees that we can step into over the next few years. And we know video games and anything gaming, anything on gaming is longer. It's not an immediate. It comes true in the next year. So we have to continue to try to keep those two worlds and the decisions associated with those worlds separate. But it is not lost on it is not lost at all on Chris, myself, and the executive team that we need to keep creating the capacity for the Wizards to grow. You hired a guy and you're speaking him up. But again, you said nothing. You did not speak about anything here of value. What does any of this gobbledygook mean other than it's a nice little press release? All you're saying here is we hired this guy. We're going to have to wait about a year to see if he could turn Wizards around. It's all speculative. You know what's not speculative? Price changes. And what a wild week of Hasbro price changes it's been. And I say this because last week I reported that the prices immediately jumped to $32.99, and they did with many retailers. And I've watched through the week of a lot of American retailers, e-tailers. And I can't speak to brick and mortar because I'm not American. I'm not in those stores. I'm not in those places. But I've also been paying attention to the discussions. And I've heard of certain states and certain chains who are lowering their prices back to $24.99. Some are keeping them up. Like I heard GameStop is keeping prices up. I heard that Amazon lowered them again. Then I saw Amazon put them up again. Then I saw Amazon put them down again. I heard Walmart kept them down. I heard that Target put them up, then Target put them down. I don't know what's happening. But when you have that kind of price fluctuation within 1 week, that is not a sign of a stable economy. That's or at least not a sign of a stable company. You don't know how to position yourself in the market. To me, that's volatile. I'll be very interested to see how all of that plays out. But to say that I don't have trepidation and concern about it would be untrue. Absolutely untrue. We're going to go on up here. Out in the UK. Yeah, out in the UK. You have it says Dark of the Moon Optimus Prime, but I think it's the Age of Extinction Optimus Prime at Forbidden Planet in London, as well as the Dark of the Moon Shockwave at Smith's North Wales. And also out is the Transformers 1 Deluxe B127 Bumblebee at Forbidden Planet. So like things coming out in the UK a little bit early. Also in the UK, finally able to stream on Paramount Plus over there is Transformers 1. You can finally stream it. If you haven't seen it, you can start streaming it there. This is Dr. Wu. Now, Dr. Wu, as you'll see as we go through here, have revealed a number of things of the week, including Shockwave and Cliffjumper, including Hubcap and really Galactic Man, including this guy, including Overkill and Slugfest. But this is where it starts. And this is really some, I'm going to say teaser design work, line work for what is going to be their Omega Supreme. I find this really cool that he can do first both the robot mode and his regular alt mode with the core in the center, the rocket, and going around. No, he has the little tank there too. And he can do as the Trypticon could, as the Metroplex could, as the Scorponok could. He could turn into that weird little square. Nice little add-in having Doc here as well. I think this is going to be very cool. It clocks in at 10 centimeters. Like these are small. They're Micromaster takes on Titans, basically, right? But I feel like this is a really good one. Now, that said, I also find it very interesting because this one doesn't strike me as having that super deformed feel that I feel like the head of the Metroplex was just ever so slightly, and certainly as I felt the Trypticon was. But I think this is really cool. I look forward to seeing more than just the design work on that. Hope you do too. Now, where is my thing here again. We can go back into that. We'll go up. Also showed off, as I mentioned, their Cliff Jumper and Shockwave, and they're going to come in a 2-pack. This will be sold as a 2-pack. I think that they both look really good. Again, that said, I look at the Cliff Jumper, and while I think it looks good, I have the same problem with Cliff Jumper that I had with the 86 Bumblebee. I do feel like the chest is a little too squared. I think that the squared chest works a little better on Cliff Jumper than B, but as I look at this Cliff Jumper, he's supposed to have that little spoiler at the top, and I don't see that. I think the Shockwave looks real good. I do think that his chest, where the pink is a little wide, but I think for what it's aiming to be, it's really good. By the way, if you're curious, the Shockwave, whereas the Omega is 10 centimeters, the Shockwave is going to be 5.5 centimeters. And both the hubcap and the Cliff Jumper will be 4.5 centimeters. Comes with his big cannon, of course, right? Like, it's pretty good, but the top is still not right. Of course, you can also see hubcap. You can see Shockwave here. And you can see him in his blaster mode. And this looks very good in his blaster mode. I think it looks tremendous, honestly. And of course, now they call him like Astro Magnum Man or something. But like it's basically the Galactic Man. It's the it's the what is it? Shockwave, right? The Radio Shack one. And of course, here's Hubcap. And Hubcap is really Cliff Jumper with a different head. It looks good for Hubcap if you're into the little Micromaster ones. I like it. As for the Shockwave, if I go down, I mean, it's the exact same thing, right? Like if I go here, it's the same robot. It's the same alt mode, of course. But again, that's Dr. Wu for you, and I love what they do. I mean, I'm a scale junkie, so everything being so small doesn't really work for me. But man, do I ever respect it. Let's check in with you guys before I go on with this page here, because I know I'm definitely missing some stuff. Let's see. Let's go up here a little bit. I always found Canadian bacon more like ham than regular bacon. Yeah, it is. And I think it's because of that thick cut, right? And I'm not sure what's around the edge. There's always like a kind of a crust on Canadian bacon. And I'm not sure what that is. Brunch and dinner is my... Okay, brunch and dinner. Yeah, that's valid too. Yeah. Is there medicine that's bacon flavored? No, but there should be. Maybe you haven't seen Canadian. Have you ever had Matthew pea meal bacon? Pea meal bacon is this. It's really what gets called Canadian bacon. Same thing. Making chili dogs. Interesting. Make them good and cheesy. Good and cheesy. That's the secret to a good chili dog. Is all that cheese. I also got 86 Scrapper. Not really impressed with him. The only thing that he has over the CW version is pinned wheels, elbows, and a tab that holds the bucket in place for the combined mode. And it's really interesting you say that, because I thought the same thing. Now my Scrapper has the not DNA design, the Perfect Effect kit. While it doesn't have pinned wheels, mine has elbows. And well, it doesn't have a little tab. I know what you're talking about. I believe on the CW, to make that happen, though, you turn the canopy around, I think. But I could be wrong about that. I could absolutely be wrong about that. I still hope to, at some point, review them. I'm not getting them. They're not for me. But I would like to do a first-hand comparison just to see, right? Especially where I think that they're definitely better than the stock Combiner Wars. I don't know if they're better than the Takara version, and I don't know if they're better than the Combiner Wars if you got the Perfect Effect upgrade. That's what I'm not sure about. Okay. Hope they finish fast. Purple is a more expensive color to use than red. That's fair. That's probably why it is then. Yep, that's a good point. And I don't think it's red. I think it was blue. But I think purple would be more expensive. You're right. I got a watch. What? I got a watch is called a phone, and it has Wi-Fi, YouTube. More interesting. Yeah, I got a smartwatch. Well, kind of a smartwatch. It's it muddles by. It gets B's. You know, if it goes to classic, it's B's a scattered C. It does, it does all right. Uh, or call a hedgehog. I wouldn't push a watch rated for 100 meters, 5 meters. Me either. I'm with you, Matthew. Just because it says that, I wouldn't put that to the test. Not for something that's that expensive. Yeah, that's right. The keyword is resistant, not proof. Good. Oh, I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. I got Scrapper and Bone Crusher, but I haven't had the urge to open them. I like Spam. I like Spam. Oh, Spam. I couldn't get behind Spam. I remember my pop loved it. Now, my pop used to also, my grandfather, he used to also get the canned sardines. He just open them up and just eat them like potato chips. And he liked Spam. So I'm just saying that's where his taste was. That's where his taste buds were. I had Scam Collar yesterday. Yes, there's a lot of scammers out there. Canadian bacon is not Spam. No, it is not. I've given up on Scrapper. Guess my Devastator is going to be one. Nah, surely you'll get him. He's definitely going to be an A tier. And like he's just coming out. Like I wouldn't give up on Scrapper. Like he's literally. I can't speak for there. Like he's literally just showing up here now. Just now, like the last couple of weeks. My Target 2, we don't have a Walmart. I find it funny. Kevin Michael Richardson was in the Spam commercial for the last night. I don't know who that is, but okay. What's Hasbro's problem? Too many products, not enough direction. That too. Absolutely. I expect Hasbro would kind of subtly back away from gaming after many planned major Transformers games that were planned were canceled. I agree. Yeah. Wizards of the Coast has turned Magic into a game meant to just squeeze as much money as possible. Yeah, I don't think Wizards is turning around. I think it's just showing Chris Cox's greed. I think it was mismanaged before he ever became head of Hasbro. I don't think he ever should have been hired for it because I don't think he did a good job with Wizards. That would require learning from past failures. Good point. When you guys have economic chaos in North America, it's all sunshine and lollipops here. We're up to wave 2. Don't talk about listen, Matthew, don't talk about all North America. Canada's doing fine. Our prices haven't changed. And Walmart in Canada has been getting some wave 2. So, buddy, it's not all North America. I can't speak for Mexico. I don't know about Mexico. I don't know how they're doing. Please buy our Shovel Wave mobile games or else we will lose our jobs, please. I can't believe how much MTG sells for here in Australia. I love FF, so I was looking forward to the MTG collab, but then I saw Commander decks were $70. What? Okay. I don't think anyone got that reference, Blue. Nobody said anything, at least they haven't yet. Sounds like that comic guy ends with the guy getting thrown out the window of an office building. Metroplex and Triptychon are great. This one should be no different. Yeah, honestly, I agree with you, Ken. I don't see why Omega would be any different. Then Omega coming with Doc from the Secret of Omega Supreme, that's something I think Hasbro will probably never tackle. That's why I had the Wei Jiang Ultima Guard. He comes with Doc. How Dr. Wu can make such great figures and such small is crazy. I agree. Let you know, though, that what keen designers can actually pull off. I'm considering getting back into Warhammer. Don't know anything about it. Can't have an intelligent conversation on it. I've heard of it. That's it. I really don't get the cube mode. Me either. I know they can all do it, but I don't know why. Nice Shockwave and Cliff Jumper. I agree with you, Albert. I miss when Dr. Wu only made accessories. Really? Why? What's wrong with them doing this? I mean, I like when they made accessories. That's what my Megatron is, as a matter of fact, in pistol mode. It's the Doctor Wu one. But I don't think that they should have stopped making it. But I got nothing against them going this route either. Like I have their Mohawk and he's splendid. I have a couple of the cassettes and I like them. I think the cube mode is similar to Lucky Cat figurines. It says Maximal 10. Maybe you're right. There's also Beast Box. Which can go from cube to robot animal. Yeah, you're right. I think they're called Box Beast, though, aren't they? Or Beast Space Box. I don't think it's Beast Box because I think that's a Transformer, right? But I know what you're talking about. Dr. Wu's crazy expensive. Yeah, they are pricey. You're right. Dr. Wu is pricey. I'll give you that. So far, we're doing fine in Mexico. Oh, there you go. Albert says they're doing fine in Mexico. So there you go. Mexico's doing fine. Canada's doing fine. Australia's doing fine. Hey, Daryl. I was at Time Masters the other day, Dennis, and the dude served ahead of me bought 500 in Pokemon cards. Oh, Magic could probably learn something from Pokemon. Maybe there's something to be said for profit from volume. You sell more with lower prices and you make more profit because you're selling more product. Just saying. I got the Dr. Wu Power of the Primes Battle Trap accessories. I reviewed that. They were pretty good. They didn't stay on the Battle Trap I was reviewing well, though, was the problem. And it wasn't my Battle Trap. They didn't stay on it great. But I liked what they did add. And Blue says, want to share the news I told you for Sunday? I don't remember, Blue. You're going to have to put it up there with something about some show coming on some channel that I don't know. So I don't have it. No, I don't have it because it means nothing to me. I really didn't know what you were talking about. But put it in the chat here and I'll read it out because I know you know it. Speaking of Dr. Wu, we're not done with Dr. Wu yet. A couple of the cassette drones from Dr. Wu. We've seen these before. I've seen 3D printed versions of them. I've seen these versions. Who had these? I don't know if Maximal 10, did you have these? I'm not sure if it was him. The reason I'm asking is because they may have belonged, God rest his soul, they may have belonged to my buddy Justin before he passed. I don't remember. But I feel like I've seen these like in hand before. And I feel like the red one, like it's a little janky when you shake it. But they're pretty cool all the same. I like the little drone things. I think they're neat. I really do. I like these. And again, being Dr. Wu, I think that they would turn out well. And they're meant to go with your, I'll say, Soundwave, your Legacy Soundwave, your Siege Soundwave, or your Netflix War for Cybertron Soundwave, because chests that hold the same cassettes, right? And as we go up here, more for the 40th anniversary. This is more watches. I don't know how many watches they expect people to buy. And I mean, like, they look neat and stuff. It's just like, I like this. Like, this is cool. We saw a little bit of earlier. I do like that it glows. There's the Optimus Prime one. This is not the Autobot one. This is a bit different. It's not an Autobot and Decepticon one like we saw earlier. This is a modular one that's Optimus. This is Megatron, and this is B. B has a yellow strap. I like the purple strap on the Megatron. I think that looks so cool, personally. But again, these are for 40th anniversary. And I don't know if it said the price for them here on this one or not. I mean, they went through the silicone strap, which I don't really like. The case is stainless steel and blah, blah, blah. It's water resistant. All the usual stuff. But I don't think... it's due in mid-June, but I don't think I see a price for those. So I don't know how much they're going to go for. As we go up here, a couple of more details for the Lego Soundwave. I don't know why I went into this. There's nothing really here. It's going to be set number 10,358. It's going to have 1,502 pieces, apparently. Sell for $179.99 US. Due in August, actually August 1st. And it will include Lego Sound brick piece. I don't know what that is either. I'm not a Lego guy. But those stats at that price, I would say put him very much in line with what the Optimus Prime was, which was a bit of a bigger one. So this and I think Soundwave being about the size of Optimus makes sense, right? Let's see how it turns out, because I know the other two are quite popular. We've seen kind of, or they think we've seen, a look at the Megatron accessory that comes with the 86 Megatron. I find it interesting that the barrel and the scope tend to be a gray, with the body being a lighter gray. Very interesting. Not something I really expected. But that being said, and you can also see here with the Decepticon logo, that being said, I'm not angry about it. You'll notice, though, there's no stock coming back. My guess is because the handle is too short, right? You put the handle in, it's 5mm peg. You can't fit the stock on. The Dr. Wu one that I have does have the stock, but if I put it in someone's hand, like say Earthrise Starscream, I can't put the stock on because the handle isn't long enough. I think that this is a case where the handle should be long enough to come down so you can put a stock on it, because that's the way Megatron is meant to be, That said, if this is in with the robot, that will turn into a tank. I think that this is fine. This is how Megatron would have to be used in alt mode anyway. It's exactly why, even though I have Hegemon, it's exactly why I got the Dr. Wu version, because I was like, if I want to use him in his alt mode, someone has to wield him. He has to go in someone's hand. So that's why I got it. So now it's 10 years, 11 years later from my thinking, but it's the same idea. Doesn't look too bad. I got no problem with it. I think it should have the silencer on the front. I dig it. I really do. I like that. As we go up, is it on this page? Nah, it's not. We've also seen the arm in the box. I feel like there's a lot of panels around the hand. I don't know how I'm going to like it. I feel like the forearm looks kind of big. I also saw a picture with apparently, and I don't know if you'll see it here, with apparently what is his fusion cannon. That does look really cool. Very cool. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see what they cook up. It will have to be something amazing to replace Hegemon, but Hegemon's articulation is now a little bit dated. So the possibility is there, but he's been my Megatron for 11 years. Let's see what they come up with. EarthSpark, they put out a different version, not a repack from Cyberverse, but their own version of the Optimus like battle trailer. It's a thin trailer, but like look at that big blaster. And this is the way it was in the show. Optimus command the blaster. The blaster lights up. I mean, it's your basic Optimus, right? Your basic deluxe Optimus now with a trailer. Pretty sure that's the deluxe. I think this is the deluxe. I'm not going to go in here. We talked about the Hot Wheels color change last week. It's going to be tracks. And Daryl and I talked about it and said, I bet you it'll turn red and be Road Rage. And Daryl, we were wrong. It's not. It's actually going to turn black and be Loud Pedal. So blue naturally is tracks. When it goes black, it's the Decepticon Loud Pedal. Interesting. Very interesting. Or Loud Pedal-esque. As we go up here, Wild King Wave of all that's good and right. I'm not going in here again. All four of the robots are the exact same as the Wave 1 robots, except this time we have a lion boy and a rhinoceros lad and I don't know, an alligator dude and a like a bird lad. We've seen these pictures before when they got leaked. This is Ignite Lion, Spirituan, who is a Spinosaurus. That's a Spinosaurus. That's what that is. I said alligator lad, but it's a Spinosaurus. Drill No Horn, not Drill Horn, Drill No Horn. Of course, is the Rhino. Thunderbeak is the Pteranodon over here. But all the robot is exactly the same. Different colors, it's fine, but like this is reuse, repaints, run amok from Takara. If you like that, cool. I think they're very functional. I think they're neat. I wouldn't use them as arms and legs and that junk. I think they're neat, but like, how many copies of that mold would you really need? You know what I'm saying? Just throwing it out there. Let's go off this page. And I think we'll finish this up and then I'll check in with you guys because there's only the little bit of news left on here. How are we doing time? Oh, we're doing great time-wise. More of these. I've seen these Swapticons. Like I have less than zero interest on this. This isn't for me in the least. Based on the way I'm seeing them shell form, I don't know if they're for anyone. This is one of those like, why did you waste the time on this? Like the economy's not great. Your business is very much fluctuating. Why are you doing this? It's okay. So look at these. Apparently, the very top left one is Ramjet. The next one apparently is Hound. I feel like there's an awful lot of gray for that to be Hound. And what's with the orange on the chest? Down below there is apparently Sandstorm, who is the exact same thing as Ramjet. Next to that is like a camo Optimus Prime. I would never guess that's Optimus Prime. And then the last one, the Titan, who's the exact same size as everybody else, Scorponok. I'm struggling to take this product seriously because it's obviously goofy and silly and meant to be fun and funny. And it is. But when I see these on the shelf and this thing is like $30 or something, like I'm not spending $30 on this. Get real. Like, honest to God. No, I'm not doing it. But if you want to, I mean, go for it. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those things, all right, it exists. Now, finally, I'm really happy to say this. So I said a while ago that GameStop Canada was going to be getting sold, and I was happy for it because the guy that runs it in the States is a piece of garbage who ran Bed Bath & Beyond into the ground, and I think he's an abhorrent scumbag. I don't think, like, if I lived in the States, I explicitly would not go to GameStop because the guy that owns it is a douche. Thankfully, in Canada, we don't have GameStop anymore. It is once again EB Games. And EB Games, wouldn't you know, brought in a couple of those Pulse exclusives. This has happened with exclusives before. I've talked about how the Alpha Strike and Phantom Strike squadrons showed up there. A couple, just two, not all of them, but a couple of the Shattered Glass lads showed up at EB Games. I think Grimlock showed up there, Starscream did, and Megatron did. I think that was it. Now, the comic edition Shockwave has shown up there, as has Dino King. And like, cool. The Dino King is $112. I think that doesn't surprise me. I think that's about what I would have guessed for him. The Shockwave is your regular Voyager price, from what I hear. Yeah, cool. If they really wanted to do something special, they'd bring in Straxus. If they want to do something special, because a lot of people would buy that. I love my Straxus. Very, very unexpected, but at the same time, very, very cool, right? So, like the comic one, and that's the shelf. That's the EB game shelf. And again, right there on shelf. So very, very cool. Hopefully people around here can get them that wanted a Dino King. I don't need it because I have the Fans Project, but so cool. Maybe I will get a chance to actually review Dino King at some point. You never know. And finally, from Dr. Wu, their Overkill and Slugfest. Slugfest. Yeah, Slugfest. Yeah, this looks good. Right? Both dinos. They had individual pre-orders, but again, they're going to be sold as a 2-pack. That's the cassette modes. And I mean, the cassette modes are not that great. But their alt modes end up being really, really good. You know, that's the thing with the Doctor Wu stuff. And I do find the accessories might be a little loose. That's the only gripe I usually have with Doctor Wu stuff, and the price, obviously, for what it is. I mean, these are cassettes, and they're going to be over. We have a glow in the dark Cyber Glow Megatron. It's the deluxe Megatron, except now he glows in the dark. I don't know which parts glow in the dark, but okay. I would be very interested to see what parts glow in the dark. And I'd be more interested to see if they yellow over time, to be honest with you. We have the, I don't even know how to say this, Mochi bots, Maki bots. They're little plushes. We've seen these before. This is the latest wave with Soundwave and Little Ravage. I'm assuming it's the Shattered Glass Soundwave. I'm still Ravage. Adorable little Shockwave. I find this one very interesting. So you might be looking at this saying, what is that? I call this character Facade, but it's actually the War for Cybertron Mirage when he was using a hologram disguised as a Decepticon. I actually use this mold as a completely separate character as a Decepticon, and I call him Facade, and that's the way I like him. And that's the actual, like, that's not the art, that's the actual plushes, right? So if you like little Transformers plushes, they're cute. And I actually got this kit from Dragonfly, reviewed this kit, but this is a recolor of this kit. Now with the sword being gold, the extra little like detail here, and even the stickers a little more detail because it's the toy accurate Menosaurus. That the thighs, instead of being black, are now gray. Not much different in terms of the robot. Here is the original. Like you can see, the hips and thighs are now gray, right? There's added detail down on the torso, but what I do like is this, and the sword, of course, yellow, well, gold. Sorry, everything else is the same, but I like this. Now you can actually take the remolded chest and store it on the truck. I don't think, and Dragonfly, maybe you would be able to tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I know you kept the chest on yours, but I don't think the chest that your set and my set has can attach to the truck, can it? I'm asking you because I think you probably know better than me. But yeah, great set. Great. I wouldn't get it just for the extra chest. I detest dinosaur pretty darn good. It makes it a lot better than it was. He still has a lot of issues, but it's better than it was. The Neza Transformers cartoon. This has been forever. I remember when the Neza Transformer came out, and they talked about this cartoon in China for ages. Apparently, it is going to appear at the China International Cartoon and Animation Festival, and word is that it's probably going to be released this summer. A long time in development. I don't know if it'll have a life outside of China. Time will tell, but I guess we'll see. And while about Wave 2, and I said they were all repaints and recolors, I want to go into Wave 3. Still pretty much repaints and recolors, but I think that they're interesting. So, like, this again is like, this is the main body with, again, more coloration. This is one of the Dino ones, so it'll be a Decepticon, right? Does the same thing. You'll notice, though, that the Optimus here is a Nemesis repaint, obviously. Instead of just being your regular Optimus, this is obviously Nemesis Prime. It might have a name, but it's obviously like meant to evoke Nemesis Prime. Even though the shoulder still has an Autobot logo, so I'm sure this is like, Sleeping Optimus or some nonsense like that. But it's the Nemesis Prime deco. Now, I find. Let me go down here. I find this Megatron interesting and his tank interesting. This is a very different take for the Megatron. That said, I don't know if it's meant to be minor Megatron. I feel more like this is meant to evoke like Megatron from Cyberverse is what I feel like with this. So I think it's a cool black, and I love purple really stand out against it. In terms of stuff that's said here, I mean, you have, like Energy Beast, Abyss Rain. You have, it is Nemesis Prime and Lava Muter Wild docking set. So I guess he comes with one of the limb things. And then Shadow Megatron, but it's like Megatron X, right? And he comes with a locking lad too, right? So like this is a 2-pack that comes together apparently, right? Just like this is a 2-pack that comes together. And I guess that's it. Oh, I this lad. This lad is his own lad. Very weird line. I'm not against it, but it's a strange line, man. Takara Tomy, HasLab, Godfire, Convoy, or like Omega Prime, package sleeve, first look. So if you live in Japan and you're still waiting on your Omega Prime, this is what their sleeve is going to look like. Which, I mean, looks good. It looks very busy, as is usually the case with the Japanese packaging. And that's it, because I'm not going to go into the Void Rivals thing, so we can close that. Let's check in with you guys, and then we'll do the trivia and unboxing, get out of here. In fact, I'm going to do the trivia right now. This is an easy one. This is if you don't know this, then I don't know if you should be a Transformers fan. I think it's an easy one anyway. What alt mode has Megatron not had? And he's had many. Has he not been a Nissan Fairlady? Has he not been a Nissan Skyline Super G103 GTR? Has he not been a Walther P38? Has he not been a 40-foot Discovery 2 speedboat? Which one has he not been? A, B, C, or D? A Fairlady, a Skyline, Walther P38, or a Discovery 2 speedboat? Which one has he not been? Let's go up here a little bit. About right here. Mineral crystals on the watch or acrylic? Oh, I think it's acrylic. You could read it for yourself, but I think it's acrylic. I could be wrong about that though. Don't quote me on that, Albert. 300 worth of Lego in Australia. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, Matthew, it's not far off that here. It'll definitely be, I'd say 250 here, 270, something like that. I get what you're saying, buddy. I see a lot of similarities between Australia and Newfoundland. I gotta say, other than your giant spiders and like alligators and kangaroos and stuff. We don't have that. We got moose. We got moose. They're pretty dangerous. Remember last summer when me and Starscream wife got hit by one? That was not fun. The barrel and scope were black. The barrel and scope were black. I would suggest that they should be black. I don't know why they're done in gray. I don't hate it, but it's not right. They've been teasing tiny bits of 86 Megatron for days now. I know, either show them or don't. I've heard that the Meg's gun is going to be packed with 86 Meg. So have I. Heard this. I've heard the same thing, Daryl. Has anyone heard from Grimlock Gone? He's been out for a while. Yes, I hear from him all the time. He's doing fine. Gotta go having dinner. You take care, buddy. I've seen a few teasers of the arm and stuff. Yeah, we all have. Apparently, he has some tracks on his legs, otherwise super clean. I heard that too, but like the source that comes from, Daryl, I wouldn't put much stock in it because the source it comes from is a known thief and liar. So what he says really doesn't mean anything. Know your sources. That's what I would say. Know your sources. The trailer looks kicktail. I don't know what kicktail means. If they put as much effort into 86 Megatron as they did Prime, he'll be fine. I agree. Of course, they'd not have it turn red. Of course they wouldn't. Of course they wouldn't, right? Already running out of character ideas for Wild King. I don't think that they care about the character ideas. It's just how many little designy pieces, how many repaints can we get out of it. That's what they care about, guys. Come on. I want him to be more than 5, though. He has to outdo Megatronus now in my mind. Ooh, has to outdo Megatronus. That's a big one because it's hard to outdo Megatronus. I honestly want a Tarn as Megatronus. I mean, you could, but why don't you use Tarn as Tarn and get Megatronus as Megatronus? Yeah, there is a third-party Prime. The colors are darker. He's a little more matte. And there's a couple of versions. And I don't like the head. However, I would very much like to have the Nemesis Prime repaint of it and the Shattered Glass. I have no idea where to buy it, other than I hear it's on AliExpress, but like I'm not going there. I've heard nothing but shady stuff about that. I'd almost like if I almost need to go to somebody that uses AliExpress and say, okay, you take the risk and buy it because I don't know anything about it, and I'll give you the money for it, and you give it to me when it comes in. Because I don't use that. I don't use eBay anymore. I don't use any of these things that have third-party sellers. I'm not that brave anymore. I'm just not that brave anymore. We could have had the return of MicroMaster combiners instead of these. You could have. You're right. You're right. Did someone say MicroMasters take my money? Hey, Mike. My local EB has seen the Vortex, so it's not just Walmart getting them. Interesting. Very interesting. I wouldn't mind the comic Shockwave. I don't have any. Oh, Daryl. Contact the EB Games. Get that mold. I know that he has the what do you call it? Like the comic, like the cell shading, but get that Shockwave. Do it tomorrow because they're closed now. But do it tomorrow. If you get it, I might even have something for you. I might, if you get that Shockwave, I might have something for you. We'll talk. Dino King is pretty fun. Dino King is great. How would Strax's voice sound in stop motion? I don't know if I've voiced Straxus already or not. I'd have to go back and look. I don't think I have yet. But I feel his would be very vocoder, but also very gravelly, very bass. I think he would speak slowly, threateningly. And then when he gets mad, it's full on yelling rage. The comic Shockwave is neat. The head accessory is weird. It is very weird. You're right. The Swapticon Hound looks like medics. I agree. Megatronus butt glows in the dark. It might maximal 10. He has the big Decepticon emblem. Wish I had that version. I missed CE Shockwave. I don't know what CE is. Oh, Comic Edition Shockwave. Sorry. Isn't that the evil Mirage? It is. Well, it's Mirage in a disguise because he was around a bunch of Decepticons. Did you watch the Netflix show, Daryl? Because he uses it there. Glowing farts. Nice updates. The MochoBot plushes are only available through Ami for those who live in Asia. They will not ship outside Asia. Did not know that. Good to know. Superion tolerance is way better than Menasor. I can tell you that much. If you say so. I'm not in for it. The Menasor turned me right off. I've reviewed a couple of the bots already, so we'll see. That said, since the bots are reviewed belongs to Daryl, who's here in the chat, Daryl, you're probably happy to know that according to Matthew, the Superion tolerances are way better than the Menasor. We'll see. We'll see. The Megatron reminds me of G2. I see that. IDW Megatron maybe looks like the Stealth Bomber colors. I could see that. I could see how it would look like the Stealth Bomber colors. Is it me or has Hasbro been kicking out of the park with Deluxe Optimus Prime lately? One Optimus is amazing. Legacy one, G1 Optimus is great. The Devastation Optimus, I wouldn't know. I haven't handled, seen any of those molds. But I hear good things, so I'll defer and say yes. That's what I meant by that's what you meant by evil. Glowing but does what gives a whole new meaning to toxic waste. Did nobody get? Oh, I missed it. Sorry, it jumped down. Razor Bear wants me to start over. I can't start over. I could picture him in camouflage. D-A-D-D. Yeah, it was D. You guys are right. It was D. He was never that. He was never that. Australia has crocodiles. Florida has alligators. I don't want to be in either place. I don't want to be in Australia or Florida. Crocodiles or alligators can both open their jaws and eat me. They can eat me. I also don't do snakes. We don't have snakes. Minute that there's snakes, I'm out. I don't do bugs and gross and snakes and scary stuff. No way. No thanks. Okay. Unboxing. So I mentioned last week, and I thought that I was going to do this guy already. This guy will be tomorrow's review because I really wanted to get Solus out there. And she's pretty great. The couple of tolerance issues that I had, I've done a little more sanding since the review, and I don't have those tolerance issues anymore. She is splendid for me. If you have those tolerance issues, I could see why she would be a pain in the neck. So we'll do the Rise of the Beast Optimus tomorrow, who, by the way, is pretty darn cool. I actually kind of really like this guy. I pop both of these off. This one goes on easy, and I end up doing a cut because I had to put this one on. Not that it was hard, but for some reason, I just couldn't get it on camera. But this guy's way more interesting than I thought it would be. Not going to lie, though, kind of hate the Sea of Gray. But then Tuesday, and this is on loan to me by our buddy Daryl as well, we're going to take a look at, and I think it's very appropriate based on last week's news when they revealed all the Hearts of Steel stuff. We're going to take a look at, boom, MMC's take on Hearts of Steel. Now, this is Warper. It's the Sky Warp coloration of their take on that very strange Seeker mold. I will say this. I thought that Daryl's was 100% complete, and he thought that something was missing. I said, I don't think it is. One thing is missing, Daryl. I hate to tell you, and I went back. It wasn't there in the review. I don't know if you got it at your house. It's not in any of the bags that you gave me. See this here? It's missing from over here. So either you could just live like that, or because this just clips on, I mean, you could always take it off and he'd still be symmetrical. So, or if you want to look around your house, you're looking, my man, for a piece that looks like this. That's what you're looking for, my man. So I'm going to put that back on. This is wild. I love it. This back canopy, though, is a pain in the neck. And not for nothing, in the review, while I know he can do this weird, like, ninja star type of gigantic thing using this wing, and these two wings, I could only get this one off. I couldn't get this one off, so I actually don't show it because I don't want to break it where it's not mine. But you know what? I love MMC, and I'm going to tell you now, this guy is going to score well. He is fantastic. So, you guys were right with the trivia. That's all the news. That's the unboxing. I'm going to get out of here so I can eat my supper, dinner, snack. I don't know, but you guys know. I love each and every one of you. I thank you for coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around and have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams right here on Thursdays at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way inside the videos. Have a terrific weekend.